Let me start with the question of the Arise correspondent. And I know very well that the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, did pay Mr. President a visit, if you may call it private visit. The president and of course the governor has never hidden their admiration for each other. And Mr. President has continuously alluded to the friendship that has existed between him and Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo as far back as over 2 decades. And it is not something you can take away or you can shy away. They are friends. And within the context of their friendship, I cannot come in between the discussions that they have, especially when those discussions are private. Again, Mr. Governor of Anambra State has not equally hidden his call for progressives to align and work together. And this call, for me, is ideologically based. That we cannot continue to have the proliferation of political parties professing similar ideologies when these political parties can actually come together in some sort of either strong partnership or loose coalition when the ultimate goal is to advance progressive ideals or progressivism, which we profess. APGA as a political party is the foremost progressive party in Nigeria. From 1999 till date, under the present dispensation, we were the first to be registered with the word progressive. And then, of course, before you now started having the All Progressive Congress, the Young Progressive people, the Young Progressive Party, and all manner of progressives. And Mr. Governor believes that the mainstay or the mainstream of every political party must be the ideologies that that political party professes. And if you look at the manifesto of most of these political parties, you see that they are virtually the same. Either you are left of the center or right of the center. It's that simple. And when you see political parties that are ideologically aligned, there is no reason why these political parties cannot come together, like I said earlier on, in the form of either a loose partnership or a strong bond. The most important thing is to continue to engender democratic ideals all over the country. Again, Mr. Governor of Anambra State has not hidden an admiration for the courage that Mr. President has demonstrated in engendering very necessary and needed reforms of the economy, especially from the one that the president took over and removed subsidy, as well as other necessary reforms. And so these and many more issues are, for me, what I may consider pivotal in discussing the relationship between our party and Mr. President's party. And to that extent, we believe and we profess, for the fact that we profess progressivism, we believe that progressives ought to work together, and we are really working towards that. We don't have any apologies whatsoever. The most important thing is that we are interested in the people of Nigeria, and that is the paramount interest as far as APGA is concerned. Our mantra is leaving no one behind. And if we see that Mr. President's economic policies are aligned or geared towards this, our progressive ideals of leaving no one behind, then we have no reason not to support the president. Personally, I'm one of those that have said severally that I'm interested in a Nigeria that works. I want President Tinubu to succeed. I'm not one of those that do or engage in needless criticism. I engage in constructive criticism. If there are areas where I believe that the president is not doing well, it is my job as a progressive to point it out. Because if the president succeeds, Nigeria works, and we all succeed. We want a better Nigeria. It's that simple. Then, with respect to your final question about supporting Mr. President's second term, if you ask me, I think you're putting the cart before the horse. INEC is yet to release the timetable for the 2027 general election. Mr. President has not told you that he's running for that election. and so it will tantamount to putting the cart before the horse for us to begin to talk about what Mr. Governor may believe that given the reforms, the very bold reform that the president has been able to enthrone, that he, on a personal level and as the leader of the party, believes that if Nigeria continues in that particular trajectory, that we are, of course, headed in the right direction. Of course, when the time comes, at that level, the National Executive Committee of the party will actually look at all the factors and decide. It's not something that I can sit down here or decide on what Mr. Governor as a national leader can decide. But I can tell you that progressives are working together, and we are really, really working together.
So
Thank you. I think I've answered your question. When INEC releases timetable, you see, let me make this final point. And in making this final point, I must go memory lane. APGA, as a political party, has more often than not strategically aligned with the center. There are no apologies about that. And this alignment did not start with my administration. The first alignment that we had was actually when Mr. Peter Obi was the governor of Anambra State, and he was the national leader of the party. At that time, in 2011, APGA did not field a presidential candidate. APGA supported the then President Goodluck Jonathan. It is a fact. In 2015, APGA returned again without a candidate. And we actually supported President Goodluck Jonathan in his quest for a second term in office. The records are there. And so it is not something, because when certain of some journalists and some media personnel raise these issues, it seems as if what we are doing is strange. It is more like a policy of the party. It is just in 2019 and 2023 that the party had presidential candidates. And of course, the performance of those presidential candidates are not, in my opinion, what the party can come out and say that we are proud of the performances. For a party that professes or once professed to be the third largest political party in Nigeria, such performance do not align with our shared visions. And so we can't just field candidates for the sake of fielding candidates. That's why I mentioned about looking towards a shared partnership or some sort of loose coalition with political parties that share the same progressive ideals as APGA. That is the way to go, rather than proliferation of candidates that will end up with less than 1 million votes. The most important thing, and don't forget, in furtherance of these ideals that progressives are working together, Mr. President has appointed 2 APGA members in his cabinet. Even when we aligned with President Jonathan in 2011 and 2015, APGA didn't get such. It's a fact. For the first time in our nation's history, APGA has produced a minister, the wife of our foremost spiritual leader, and a member of the Board of Trustees of APGA, Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, who is currently the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. The same thing with the current MD and CEO of the Southeast Development Commission, Mr. Mark Okoye, who served the Anambra State government as the MD of the Anambra State Investment Protection Agency, who incidentally has been appointed by Mr. President as the MD and the pioneer MD/CEO of the Southeast Development Commission. And so, the Mr. President has shown good faith to APGA in furtherance of the progressive ideals that we profess, that progressives are working together. And so APGA firmly supports Mr. President's economic reforms and administration in Nigeria. We don't owe any apology about that. And like I said, when Mr. President announces his second term bid, we'll go back to the drawing board and then we'll decide whether to go with Mr. President or whether to probably go with another candidate. They are still within the realms of possibilities. But for now, we are firmly in support of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We believe he's doing well. We believe he's headed in the right direction. And we give him all our support.
Sir, just a follow-up question, sir. I
Yes.
don't know whether you have done put it. You said the relationship between your governor and the president.
Yes.
Please, can you confirm to us? because APC candidate is already everywhere and the members everywhere. It will not stop Soludo, the governor, from visiting the governor, from visiting the president.
Absolutely.
Can you confirm to us if actually the president has endorsed the governor for November?
I don't know if I may ask you a question in response to your question. My confirmation of Mr. President's support for Mr. Governor, what difference will it make? I don't work for the Mr. So if I confirm that the President is supporting the governor, does it mean the President is actually supporting the governor? Yeah, if you need such confirmation, you should approach the appropriate quarters. I'm not a spokesperson for Mr. President. I'm not a cabinet member. I'm the national chairman of APGA. But the fact remains that the Mr. President has made an important point. And what is that important point? Mr. President, first, when he came to Anambra State for campaign, he said that Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo is one of those that he will work with closely to bring prosperity to Nigeria. He called him a thinker. He called him a reformer. And he called him a progressive. And he said together they will work together to bring prosperity, not just to Nigeria, but to the people of Anambra. And he repeated that quote again during his state visit to Anambra I think it was in May this year. Yeah. I don't think there is any other endorsement you need other than that. Thank you.